Hi, I'm Dorgan Kishu, Paladin and Dragon Rider. Welcome to Doragon's Domain, episode 22. Yesterday I actually went into Twitter and asked for some help from the Dungeons & Dragons community to determine the subject of my next Doragon's Domain. It had been a little over 2 weeks and I wanted to get some ideas. The first subject that I'm using from the ideas that were suggested come from Hans Chun. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of him. He was suggesting maybe an episode about preparing for a session, also dealing with the ongoing plot line of a particular campaign. The first thing that I do in preparing is I grab the appropriate folders. After running this campaign for a year, there was a lot of paperwork and I tried to be organized, but I needed to figure out better ways. So I started to use these folders. Inside these folders, each are for like different locations. Inside them can be NPCs, maps, or particular or merchants, different things for a particular area. This one is green folder. I also color coded so I know what folder to grab. This one's for Court, which is K-O-R-T, which is Barbarian Town, where this group that I'm currently running, initially the group started out there, not the individuals but the group. They worked with the leader of this Barbarian Town, and anyway, so this is agreed for. That's basically just to give you an idea what these folders are about. So first thing I do is I grab the appropriate folders for that day's session. To give you a few more examples, I know the paper's kind of coming out. A few more examples, like this yellow one is for Veremore, which is the home continent that they started at. The town of Court, Barbarian Town of Court, is in Veremore. They actually have another home now. They moved to another continent, which is the red folder. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea. And that way they're organized. I just pull the appropriate folders that where they are and where they might be going. And then if something happens and they go somewhere, I'll just go grab that folder. This gray folder is actually for their castle that is in the other land of Aquonia. They have knights that protect their castle that were assigned to them by one of the kings of that land because they helped them bring peace. And so the kingdom, they're allied with the three kings there. So anyway, in the gray folder, I've got maps of their castle. I have the NPC knights that protect their castle. They also have a few mercenaries that they work with. The next thing that I do, I have I basically call like a storyline prompt. That generally lists like 6, 7, 8 different things. It's kind of like to remind me of the different things that are going on, whether they're dealing with it right now or it's in the background, it's evolving. Like the Dragon Festival. Dalanthan is a leader of a land that they're checking out. Sayre is a bad guy hidden away. 9 Hells they recently went to. Winter Next was a campaign-ish thing that they kind of are finishing up. Hirathak is the ancient black dragon that my sorcerer has the blood of. He needed to go see him, and he did. Gloomrot, a place they might go. Beauty contest. That's there's something going on where these there's like these beauty contests, and then the people in them are disappearing, and I think they're basically being turned into slaves and whatever. But my point is that so I look over this list, make sure that I have it, and remembering all the main things that are going on, and then with the story prompt list, things will fall off it as they're done or whatever, or complete, and then things will be added on. And so I'll be, just make a new list. After that, what I do is I grab all my NPC group member characters, and what I mean by that is I am running a one-person campaign, but I've been doing it for a year, and a lot of people have added on to it. So I run many characters that are in the group. She's the leader of the group and makes the main decisions. However, I do, and sometimes I'll roll dice to have, my character have opinions, but generally I'm able to play them and have pretty objective opinions. But for the most part, she's the leader. In addition to the members in her group, because there's actually 10 members in this group that she leads. I run the other 9. And then she has also friends, because her character likes people. So she has friends that sometimes go with, and sometimes mercenaries that they have that work for them as well. So, lay them all out. Next thing that I do is grab my what I call a timeline. It's actually I make 30-day months. So all the months have 30 days. None of these 31 days or whatever. So I'll do a page with 1 through 30. that way I'll track as they travel or whatever. It also use it as like a calendar. It shows what things are coming up, and it helps me to keep reference with what they've done, and then what's coming up. And then if things happen that are unexpected, I might make notes on the timeline to just so I know when they happened. This is like literally pages. What I do is I just staple a new month onto one on top of the other, and I'm able to go pretty far back and see some of the stuff that we've done. So the timeline really helps me to, well, it kind of speaks for itself, but it really helps me to keep, not forgetting things that are coming up and things like that. Oh, in addition, on the timeline, I also keep track of the moon. When it's full, when it's half full, when there is no moon. This obviously helps for any kind of lycanthrope characters that might be in the mix, or different magics that call upon certain times of the moon. But it also helps when you're describing the night sky and tells so you can describe what the moon looks like. Next, I get my dice and my dice tray and my dice tower. If you guys saw a while back, I contacted the guy. I love this guy's stuff, so I contacted him and did a review of his product, and he sent me his newest product, which at the time was I don't even know if he does stuff anymore. I looked for him and there was nothing on his site, but I just love this stuff. Yeah. I'll put down below, and I'll put a link to the where I reviewed his stuff. He has all kinds of different woods and whatnot. In addition to the location files, I also have a file that it's kind of like what's really the most current campaign stuff, like what I really want access, characters and places and things. I'll pull them out of the other things or whatever, but I have a it's like a campaign file, so I really have everything in here that I need, that's really the most focused on. All the folders make my life so much easier. Yeah, so I highly recommend it. And like I said, I do them different colors, so you can just quickly grab whatever you need. Speaking of folders, and I know I speak of them a lot, I also have some folders that have to do with items on that list. So if if the Dragon Festival is gonna happen, then let's go ahead and grab that file. Or if we're gonna go check out, go back to the 9 Hells, get that 9 Hell folder. So yeah, also tend to have some folders for some of the stuff on this list ready to go. Oh, and here's my Waterdeep folder, which is huge. I homebrew, so I have in my world I have 2 material planes. I may have mentioned in one of my other videos. I have 2 material planes. I have mine, which is 6, 7, 8 continents, and 6 continents, islands, etc. And then I also merged in Faerun as a second material plane, and for different Waterdeep mainly. And this is just a lot of NPCs and merchants and maps and all kinds of stuff that I have in here. This is pretty useful. Other than that, I grab my DM screen. This is actually years ago. I had this bed that I had made some alterations on and had some extra wood, and this piece of wood was laying around forever. And last year, at the end of last year, I asked my mom's boyfriend, he had a saw and whatnot. Asked him to throw this together, bolt it together. And behind the DM screen, I'll have maybe some NPCs or maps that are things that are just really right there, kind of from like that white folder, the things that I really want right there in front of me, including like little thing that I have, tells like to roll for the weather and things like that. But I have certain things behind. Everybody's got something different behind there. And then experience points, I'll either use a notebook or a piece of paper, or a notebook and pull it out once I've already, A lot of people, I guess, don't keep track of individual experience points. They do the thing where you hit a certain point in the campaign, everybody levels, which is fine. It's really a matter of preference, and I know that it's easier. I admit I'm a little old school. I love XP. I love giving individual XP, and I actually like math. So I don't mind doing all the math that it takes. I really like that individual aspect of individual XP, but it does come at a price, as you can see, all the group members and all the friends and just everybody. So it does take a little bit of effort, but I don't mind it. Other than that, I'm pretty much ready to go. I appreciate once again Hans Chun for the suggestion, for the preparation. I've seen things like Matthew Mercer. I've seen people's things of what they do when they prepare, and it's amazing. They write it down and type it up, and they have all this stuff, and it's amazing. This is just the way that I do it. But I would, I'm definitely, I'm sure there might be times where I would like to do it the other way too, but I just haven't done that yet. So this is the way I do it. And once again, thank you, Hans Chun, and thank you all for checking out Doragons Domain, and I shall see you on Twitter.